More drama in Dalton tonight. The state agency that regulates local law enforcement in Illinois says Mayor Tiffany Henyard's handpicked police chief is not right now legally qualified to run the department or even serve as an officer.
Tensions are rising in Dalton, Illinois, as Mayor Tiffany Henyard's controversial choice for police chief, Ronald Byrd, faces serious legal setbacks. The state's law enforcement agency has declared Byrd unqualified to serve, revealing he's not authorized to carry a firearm or perform law enforcement duties. Despite this, the mayor pushed forward, leading to a court battle and a restraining order. With the clock ticking on Byrd's interim position, the village trustees are ready to take further action. Will the mayor's decision crumble under legal pressure, or will Dalton's leadership remain in chaos? Stay tuned. Hey guys, I am Olivia. Welcome to Red Rumbles. Tonight, Dalton, Illinois is burning with controversy, and it's all tied to Mayor Tiffany Henyard's shocking move to appoint Ronald Byrd as police chief. But here's the twist: Byrd might not even be qualified to serve. Legal battles, angry trustees, and a chaotic meeting are just the beginning. What happens next? Stay tuned as we break down the drama that's shaking up this small town. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss out on the latest updates. This is Red Rumbles, where the fight is just getting started. Mayor Tiffany Henyard's appointment of Ronald Byrd as police chief in September set off a political firestorm that shows no sign of cooling down. For many, Byrd's appointment wasn't a typical decision. It was a deliberate challenge to Dalton's established government processes. The mayor selected Byrd without consulting Dalton's board of trustees, a move that seemed calculated to shake up the system. Dalton's trustees quickly condemned Henyard's choice, accusing her of bypassing necessary protocols. According to the trustees, no single official should be able to appoint a figure as critical as the police chief without the board's consent. By sidelining the trustees.
Also new tonight, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is suing some village trustees over Monday's meeting.
Henyard threw Dalton's governance into uncharted territory, with legal complications and questions about authority immediately taking center stage. Henyard's critics gained even more traction when the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board stepped in with a scathing assessment of Byrd's eligibility. In a letter addressed to Henyard, the board outlined why Byrd could not legally serve as Dalton's police chief, let alone as a police officer. The board pointed out that Dalton's government had not submitted the proper paperwork to authorize Byrd's appointment.
Last month, the judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from trustees.
More alarmingly, Byrd had not completed a requalification shoot since 2021. Back when he served with the Dixon Police Department. This failure to meet basic training requirements meant that Byrd was not legally allowed to exercise police authority or carry a firearm in public. The board strongly advised Henyard to remove him from the role until these issues could be resolved. For Dalton's trustees, this development validated their concerns. Not only had Henyard pushed through a potentially unlawful appointment, but she had also chosen someone who did not meet the state's mandatory qualifications. The trustees argued that allowing Byrd to continue in the role could put Dalton's residents at risk and expose the village to potential legal consequences.
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances, while the township supervisor,
determined to prevent Byrd from taking on the role without their approval, Dalton's trustees took swift legal action. They sought and received a restraining order, effectively barring Byrd from assuming his duties as police chief. This restraining order sent a clear message. Dalton's board of trustees would not sit idly by while Henyard disregarded established protocols. For the trustees, this wasn't just about a single appointment. It was about preserving the checks and balances that defined Dalton's local government. The restraining order underscored their commitment to oversight and accountability, emphasizing that even the mayor must answer to the village's governing body. While the restraining order put a temporary halt to Bird's role, Henyard wasn't willing to let her decision be overturned so easily. In a move that intensified the drama, Henyard took the matter back to court, arguing that Bird should be allowed to serve as police chief on an interim basis. During the hearing, Henyard's attorneys argued that the village needed a police chief, even if it was only temporary. The court's decision shocked the trustees and their supporters. The judge granted Henyard's request, allowing Bird to serve as interim chief for a period of 30 days. This ruling marked a win for Henyard, but it also signaled the beginning of a protracted struggle over authority and governance. The trustees viewed the court's decision as a troubling precedent. By allowing Bird to assume the role temporarily, the court seemed to undermine their authority, validating Henyard's move to bypass them in the first place. For many residents, this outcome blurred the lines of governance.
I'm a private investigator. I've got some books that says Mayor. Inside I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois,
raising uncomfortable questions about who truly held power in Dalton. The Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board didn't just question Bird's qualifications. It also issued a stern reminder to Mayor Henyard. The board emphasized the need for a thorough background check on Bird's criminal and employment history. Given Bird's past experience and his current inactive status, the board's message was clear. Any future appointment would require serious scrutiny. For the trustees, this warning amplified their concerns. They began to question whether Henyard had done her due diligence before appointing Bird. As the letter suggested, rushing a decision without fully vetting the candidate could open Dalton's government to criticism and potential liabilities. The trustees argued that Henyard's refusal to heed this advice demonstrated poor judgment and disregard for the safety of Dalton's residents. With tensions at an all-time high, the latest Dalton Village board meeting turned into a chaotic showdown. Supporters of Mayor Henyard clashed with her critics, each side fiercely defending its position. Some residents voiced support for Henyard's assertive approach, arguing that Dalton's government needed bold leadership to make real change. Others sided with the trustees, emphasizing the need for accountability and transparency in all appointments. In a fiery exchange, board members accused Henyard of overstepping her authority and putting Dalton's reputation at risk. Henyard's supporters countered that the trustees were obstructing necessary reforms by holding up the appointment process. As the meeting wore on, it became evident that the village's leadership was deeply divided, with little room for compromise. The meeting highlighted the widening gulf between Dalton's mayor and its board of trustees. While both sides insisted they had Dalton's best interests at heart, their conflicting visions revealed a deeper struggle for control and influence. For Dalton residents, the chaotic meeting underscored just how fractured their local government had become. As news of the board meeting and court rulings spread, Dalton residents found themselves divided over the future of their village. Some saw Henyard as a necessary disruptor, someone willing to push through changes in a system that they believed had grown stagnant. For these supporters, Henyard represented a new direction, and Bird's appointment was a part of that shift. However, many residents remained skeptical. They viewed Henyard's actions as reckless, with little regard for proper procedure. For them, the appointment of a police chief was too important a decision to be rushed. The trustees, who emphasized careful vetting and transparency, appealed to those who valued stability and accountability. As the public weighed in, it became clear that Dalton's residents were grappling with issues beyond Bird's appointment. The conflict had become a flashpoint for broader concerns about the village's governance, including transparency, accountability, and the balance of power. The stakes of Dalton's political battle extend far beyond the appointment of a police chief. At its core, this conflict challenges the village's governance structure, questioning the limits of mayoral authority and the role of the Board of Trustees. If the board successfully prevents Bird's appointment, it could set a powerful precedent for trustee oversight in Dalton, reasserting the board's role in major decisions. This outcome would likely strengthen the board's position, discouraging any future attempts to bypass their approval in critical appointments. However, if Henyard prevails, Dalton's government may see a shift toward a more centralized model, with greater power concentrated in the mayor's office. This could pave the way for future unilateral decisions, potentially sidelining the Board of Trustees in the process. For Henyard's supporters, such a shift could be seen as an opportunity to enact quicker reforms. But for her critics, it represents a dangerous erosion of the village's checks and balances. Trustee Jason House has hinted that the board is not finished fighting. House suggested that the trustees would likely return to court to challenge Bird's appointment once again, seeking a more permanent resolution. This move reflects the board's resolve to uphold what they view as necessary safeguards against unilateral decision-making. For Dalton's trustees, the continued legal struggle isn't merely about preventing Bird from taking office, it's a stand for accountability. By going back to court, they hope to send a message that Dalton's government is not a one-person operation, and that decisions affecting public safety demand a collective voice. In the wake of this fierce conflict, one question looms large. Can Dalton's leadership regain the trust of its residents? For many, the events of the past few weeks have cast a shadow over Dalton's government. Whether they support Henyard or the trustees, residents have watched as their leaders engage in a public battle that has exposed fractures and raised doubts about the village's future. As Dalton's government moves forward, the need for unity and transparency has never been more pressing. For Mayor Henyard, this may mean working more closely with the board to ensure that future decisions are reached through consensus, not confrontation. For the trustees, it may require finding ways to collaborate without compromising on oversight. The outcome of Dalton's leadership clash will undoubtedly have lasting effects on its police department. If Bird's appointment is ultimately blocked, Dalton will face the challenge of finding a new police chief who can restore public confidence while meeting state requirements. However, if Henyard secures Bird's role permanently, Dalton's police department may remain in the spotlight, with ongoing scrutiny over Bird's qualifications and performance. Either way, the village's law enforcement faces a period of instability. Rebuilding trust within the department and with the public will be essential, regardless of who assumes the role of police chief. Thanks for tuning in to Red Rumbles. Dalton, Illinois, stands at a crossroads, with its leadership locked in a tense standoff. Will the trustees' commitment to oversight win out? Or will Mayor Henyard's bold approach shape the future of Dalton's government? Only time will tell how this power struggle will unfold. Subscribe to Red Rumbles for more updates as we continue covering this political saga and others like it. Stay with us for the latest on unfolding dramas and intense clashes. There's much more to come.